In my course overview document here, I have this section called Objectives where I want to create a notion of the objectives for the course. So let's go into our document and we'll create an unordered list, or use the UL tag here. Be sure to close that. And in unordered and ordered lists, the items are called out with an LI, or list item tag. So we'll go in here and say we want to explain the fundamental concepts of HTML. We'll close the list item and we'll add some others just so we actually have a list. And if we save that list and refresh, you'll see that that gets rendered out as a bulleted list with those various items on there as block level items. So even if I put these things on the same line, we think about the rendering from previous modules, you'll see that as I refresh, they still end up as a list on their own separate lines. It's really looking at that markup, not the white space and the flow that we have there. So that's a pretty simple unordered list. Let's go back now, and under our outline, let's create an ordered list. So here we use OL for the ordered list, and here we want to create a list of items that have a sense of order, which means they're going to have tags in the front that are going to provide numeric or alpha sorts of order. So we still use the list item. So we might put an introduction. We think about the course, talked about text elements, and now we're talking about lists, and then we'll just put one more in there, and for that we'll say we're going to talk about links. So we save that, and now we see we have a notion of a list, and the default is that it's rendered out based on numeric prefixes here. Now with both of these types of lists, we can create sublists under here. So we might, under the have fun, we might put another list item underneath there. And we could say creating documents. Oops. Close that out. And we'll get cheesy and creating memories. Now, right now, I just have these as list items, but really what I want this to be is a sublist. So I'm going to put another UL tag there for an unordered list, and we'll nest that in there. So underneath have fun as a list item, notice we don't close that list item. We consider this other unordered list as nested underneath there, and then we close the have fun. So we'll save that. And now you can see we have a sublist. It's indented a little bit more for the rendering. It's changed the bullets to look slightly different, so we can see that that is a sublist underneath there. And we could do the same thing for our items here. We might come into lists. We'll open up that list item, and let's do another ordered list in there. And so we can do a list item, unordered lists, ordered lists, and definition lists. So now we have under here the lists element. Again, we don't close it. And then we have inside of that an ordered list with its own list items. And then we close the lists element. So now we get another sublist in order using those numeric characters. Finally, if we want to look at the notion of definition lists, then we can create a new list out here, and I won't make you watch me type this one. We'll paste that in. So I have a DL, or a definition list, and in here I'm going to have a definition term with the DT tag, and then a definition, which I realize is kind of redundant, but that's the definition of that particular term. Let's put a little header over here. We'll call it terminology. save that, and now we'll go back out to our browser. And if we look down at the bottom, you can see there's our header. And then the way the definition list is rendered is the term is rendered kind of left justified, and the definition then gets indented underneath that in a block quote style. So if I take this and shrink it up a little bit, you'll see that it wraps and keeps that justification of that block style of the definition under there. So we have definition lists, we have unordered lists, and we have the ordered list, and we can nest those ordered and unordered lists to give us those sublists as well.